In this video, we're going to cover the use of events and event reports and messaging for leaders. Well, the events one's pretty simple because at this point in time, that's still a beta feature. The account administrator has access to it. And when events does come online, I will be putting out a new video for it. But in the meantime, let's talk about messaging. Messaging is very simple. In here, you can send a message to any leader, to the parents of any scout who you're connected to, and to any scout who has an account on the system. So that means not just they're entered, but they have access to it. Now, when I say that you're connected to, most leaders will be connected to all scouts. In the purpose of privacy, our sample leader here only has access to one scout. So you won't see the actual kids in my unit, but you'll see one of my fake scouts and his parents. By utilizing this area, you can send messages to them or to other leaders. If a parent gives access to their child, you'll also see a link to them. So I'm just going to go into my send messaging area. And very quickly, I have all of my leadership listed who I could send messages to. I have parents of my scout listed. And I don't see the scout listed because he does not have his own email account listed. So I can pick multiple people. So I'm going to pick the scout's parents. And I'm going to tell them to check out Scoutbook. So we think it's a good program. By the way, I'm not affiliated with the program at all. I'm just a user who's doing this for my own parents within the troop to see about the program. And I decided I'll also share these online for other users out there. I am using Scoutbook, so should you. And I'm going to send that message. And I was told to send me a blind carbon copy, so I'll hear a ding in a minute. If you are affiliated with more than one unit and they're using Scoutbook, you'll actually be able to select your unit up on the top of the screen. I'm going to use my quick nav, go back to my dashboard, and I want to go to reports. Reports are still in a growing phase. We have a report builder, and basically this type of report you want to go in and play with. Obviously, we're going to go to Boy Scouts since we're set up as a troop. And it's going to load and load and load. Got to check my internet connection. Seems to be a little slow today. And I can choose which scouts. Well, I only have one scout who I have access to, so I'm going to click all. I can choose data. I can choose their ranks. I can choose individual requirements. And unfortunately, this isn't going to give me much info because our scout was just entered. It can show dates. It can show current ranks. It can show date of birth, age, phone numbers, member ID, show the emblem icons. Again, I'm showing this to you. You can put a title. You can save a report. Now I'm going to generate it. And again, it's not going to have much data. This is an area you definitely want to play with. And it's showing me my one scout. His name's up here. His picture would be there if he had it in. It's showing me his date of birth. It's showing me his age. And it'll show check marks if he's earned certain awards, which he's been a little lacking. I'm going to go back to the main report screen. And we have a train leaders report. and it basically will show leaders within the unit if they have their training. Obviously, I have a lot of people who are trained but just don't have the info in there yet. And if you notice, my test assistant Scoutmaster here, Ben Grimm, he isn't trained, that being me at this point. My actual account, which is above, I have both checks off that I am trained. Okay, so that's a valuable quick report, but the data needs to be in there, so your leaders need to enter their ID numbers and sync with ScoutNet. We're going to go back a screen, and we're going to go back to the reports menu. There's also a needs approval and needs awarding. Now, if there were, these are not so much reports as checklists of items that need to be done. If parents or scouts have checked off they did a requirement, it doesn't automatically state that the requirement is done. A leader needs to approve it, as we do in scouting. So this needs approval list will show you anything that's waiting on approval. It'll show it down below, and there's nothing pending approval, so there's nothing there. In the same vein, there's a needs awarding. So any awards that have been completed will be listed there, and there's a way to print out a report of them, as well as there is an export for ScoutNet. This will be handled by the, most likely, your Scoutmaster or your Advancement Chairman, who will export that data and can import it directly into ScoutNet. But we have to remember, garbage in, garbage out. We need the Scout membership ID numbers in there, and the program needs to be kept up to date to give us a good export. We're going to look at one other report really quickly. It's the individual record. And we're dealing with a Boy Scout here. And we're going to choose the only one we have connected with us. I'm going to generate this report, and obviously this Scout has not done much, but I've just started a PDF downloading. And we're going to look at that PDF. We could email out that PDF, or we could print it out. This is the Boy Scout Individual Advancement Record. And it's going to show each of the rank requirements, and what percentage of the badge is done. And obviously this guy needs to get moving. So this is a nice thing you can print out. Would be very helpful at Board of Reviews, or just to keep in the Scouts if you keep in a binder with all their info. Great little tool. And that is ending our message, events, and reporting module. Check back for our other videos coming soon.